Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm very grateful for Allah that actually brought us together here today. And we thank Allah for doing that for us. Actually, the content of my discussion this evening has to do with the collection of the gathering of the data from the field observer, that those people that have been involved in the moon sighting effort across the world, because there is a need for the Muslim to actually participate in this effort, as some people have been doing. And equally, I'll be looking to the fact that virtually all over the world today, everyone have access to the GSM telecommunication equipment, unlike a computer where very few people, according to some statistics as going to be shown to us today. Because of this availability of this means of communication, which has actually brought a very drastic change in the way people all over the world interact or communicate with each other. So we are going to look into the aspect of GSM via SMS interface, whereby the field observer is going to be able to send an instant report of moon sighting observation directly to a control center before it can be actually forwarded to the general populace. So, like I was saying, that through SMS platform, the widening gap between when it last reported and the time when the information is available to the populace can be eliminated, because at times we actually find out that at the time when a reporter from one part of the world have concluded an observation on the 29th or on the 30th, before the source point can actually forward the report to the website, because most of us are used to sending the report to one website or the other, and before such information is made available via internet, it takes some time. And aside from that is that the fact that those people or those visitors that came to that site to visit, to check for those information, at times some of them will not get the information immediately. So we'll be looking at SMS, how we can use SMS, which is short message services, as a means, as a vehicle that we can actually forward this information, this vital information to the general populace. So actually, XMS across the globe, from the statistics presented by the World International Telecommunication Union, it was probably before that is that the world population as at today, as at May 25, is estimated at 6.8 billion as human beings on the surface of the earth. And apart from this is that among these human beings is that about 1.7 billion are Muslim in various parts of the world, which constitute about 23% of the population. And therefore, if we look at this properly, according to the International Telecommunication Unit, as the data presented at the end of 2009, it was said that 4.6 billion human beings have access to telecommunication via GSM. That is, 67% of human beings were carrying GSM all over the places. Like we are here now, some of us have received more than 10 text messages here, which shows that we are still communicating with everybody, different people around the world. And equally, according to the same source, it was actually made known that people that have access to internet every now and then are no more than about 25% of human beings. And equally, the landline, the mobile broadband, like my brother from UK said that maybe in the process of going for this field work, they discovered that at times they don't give a good reception for their internet, which shows that sometimes their report might be delayed before it is made available to the decision body. So with SMS as the basis of our vehicle for sharing this information, we believe that this message can get delivered instantly before the observer even leave the field observation. So from here, we should equally be aware that internet has actually brought a very, very change in the way human beings communicate, because a lot of data, you have access to a lot of information at a fingertip. But with this also is the fact that the internet has been overflowed with information, so much so that it has been resorted into what some people call information overload. Because imagine you are searching for information about the start of Ramadan or the start of one particular month, and you use the normal search engine, maybe the Google or the Yahoo, and you key in the keyword that you need, and before you know it, about 1 million page will contain such keyword. This at times might actually, because before you start scanning through these pages one by one, at times you might find it very, very difficult. So with all this, we believe that by using GSM as SMS, as we are saying, we actually minimize this. And doing that, because not everybody in some area, for someone to access internet is quite expensive. But by using SMS, which is actually available on every GSM platform, it is it has a very low cost entry. It is ubiquitous, that it is everywhere, wherever anybody is finding himself, whether he's sleeping, eating, or doing whatever it is, he or she can actually receive such a message on Islam or a moon sighting report, and it is viral. What we mean here is that once someone receives such information, it can be spread to other friends and family and the rest. And then this also brought us to the fact that the essential information that related to moon sighting, particularly maybe when the Hilal had been sighted anywhere in the world, or when the beginning of a new month, or some important days that maybe Muslims use for their ibadat that has to relate with the moon, the Islamic month, all these pieces of information can be packaged and sent or distributed via SMS. And likewise, like I've said earlier, prior before this, SMS has been used in different places, in different fora. Like in some times back in Bahrain in 2006, it has been used to monitor voting, whereby the field observer that are monitoring the vote event, they use the SMS platform to actually send in their physical observation of what is actually happening in the voting sector. And actually, it's equally been utilized to monitor sensor, medical report, opinion and survey, and data gathering from various dimensions. So, like we have been saying, is that this GSM platform can be utilized to actually get a report, instant report from the field observer. So, in doing that, there's some things that we have to take into consideration here, because normally one page of XMS text message is all of 160 character, which is a kind of limitation from what data we can actually channel through it. Because unlike some of us that use internet to submit our observation, when we made an observation at the end of the month, we discovered that we have a lot of form, a lot of fields to feed. But here, using SMS, we actually constrain this kind of data, and perhaps depend on what the people that want to set up this kind of project want to utilize. But from what we can see here, I think the name and the all, perhaps we use a register ID for each observer, their location, sunset time, western sky description, the type of instrument involved, and the crescent visibility. And breaking down this will actually give us a kind of a format that can actually be compiled and sent into our database. And the format is just on the screen here. And okay, this is the details of the format. Depending on what the number of characters, because we are actually working against 160 characters, so we must be able to use the feed. The data feed here must be allocated some particular character, depending on what we want from the observer. And then trying to disseminate Hilal information, that is moon sighting, things related to Islamic month, via SMS, we will find out that it is very useful using SMS to actually notify the observer around the world about the new moon, astronomical new moon, notify the subscriber the first day of lunar month, then remind people of the ibadahs that's involved in the Islamic month, that is 13, 14 of a lunar month, then the day of Ashura and Tashura, then the occasion of Ishraq, and a lot of quiet number of things that has to do with Islamic month. You can actually channel them through the XMS. And then in doing that, there is different type of platform that we can actually send our message to the audience, or to actually collect the information from the observer. And one of it is the bulk SMS, which is very, very common around the world. And it involves blasting or pushing valuable information via SMS to a subscriber. Then this information is distributed via bulk SMS. And most of the time, it is either managed by an individual or a corporation, whereby they get their data from through their feed observer. Then from this, they will be able to actually send, once they have the database of people that they are sending the information to, they can actually send it through the interface via internet. Then apart from this is that the subscriber, those people that want to receive the message, will need to actually subscribe, because it's not permitted to be spamming people all over the places. And aside from this is the short code method, whereby the service will utilize a kind of a short code, whereby subscriber will have to send in some registered word, and once they send in this registered word, they will be notifying of every event that has to do with Islamic month, lunar month, and the rest. And apart from this is the long code, which is the international recognized number that it can be utilized globally, because the short code has the limitation that it can only be used in a particular region of the world, in a particular country, to say. But the other way around, the long code can be actually utilized by a central body, like we have in the ICOP, whereby we have the ICOP at the center, where people that involved in moon sighting most of the time report their observation. We can equally have a kind of long code number, whereby we can actually send our observation report right from the feed. Before we leave the feed, you can send in the report there, and then this report will be actually synchronized, processed, before it is now distributed around the world. So because we are looking to the fact that most of the time, those information on the internet, on the web page, were always there. At times, the visitor might not come 2-3 days later when the information is already there. Because most of the time, it is because at times they have to search through a lot of web page before they can even locate a vital information. So in the other way around, using SMX can actually push the information towards the user, and then in doing that, for us to actually run this kind of project, it involves getting a unique number from the XMS infrastructure, just like you have your web hosting, you do the domain registration, the web hosting, the designer, the web developer. So this equally involves things like this. That we get, number is that we get our register code. If we are going to use a country code, which is short code, we are going to get that number. If it is international, we are going to get an international number for that. Then designing the interface for the parameter, whereby the observer from the feed can actually send in their report. And immediately sending the report data, it can be actually overseen by the decision maker. And then this information, at the end of the day, can actually be forwarded to the different users around the globe within the region. This is just the overview of the content of my topic. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much.